Are you afraid of the dark? Not on this channel, we're not. Come on in. Show you what we got cooking. Today on the channel, we're going to be checking out, as you read in the title, the ATN X-Sight 5, which is their newest generation night vision and day vision rifle scope. And it's got a lot of nice features. So we're going to take a look at that today. I will say before I get too far into this video, I just had oral surgery, so I do have a little bit of a speech impediment going on. I do apologize for that, but that's not going to stop me from doing a video, so we're going to get into it. Let's take a look quickly at the exterior of the scope, and then I'll show you the unboxing. So you basically get a 40mm objective lens. This right here up front is the LRF, the laser rangefinder module. I initially thought that one of those was the IR, but I am mistaken. The IR is actually a separate module, which it comes with here. In the unboxing, you'll see I did receive the upgraded IR, but for the sake of this video, you're probably going to buy it and just probably stick with the factory one. So we're just going to try that. I might show you the other one, but for now, we're just going to use that. So I wanted to show you guys these X-Tar batteries. These are going to have a lot more charge than what comes in the IR up here. If you look up here, the battery that comes in this guy is an 18650, but it only has 2200 milliamp hours. If I go down to these guys here, it's going to come with a 2-pack charging cable and a charging bed with 2 slots on it, and these are 4000 milliamp hours. So I'm going to be using these for a lot of my devices, and these are a pretty nice option to have. But today, with shooting this, we're just going to use the stock battery because I want to, gauge the true performance of what it actually comes with. But this is a nice option. I'll leave some links in the comments for these. I try to keep it as honest as I can with you guys in these reviews for sure. I don't pull any punches, so I will knock them a little bit on these rings and the ring for the IR here. They are some sort of forged metal. They do not look like they're machined, and it's a kind of a soft metal, I've found out. So, you can always add your own rings. At least they do give you the pick rails on the side so that, like I wouldn't have to use this one to mount my IR beam. So that's kind of cool. You've got the user interface here on top, and they've added this 1 and 2 button, which is going to make it a little bit more user-friendly because you can use that as a back button and utilize some of these functions in the menus with those. And if I flip it over to the other side, we've got a standard USB-C charging port there. And then up here, we've got a micro SD card right there. All right, so I'm going to try to give you guys a good look at the actual scope and keep my phone stable so it doesn't start autofocusing on me. But you can see the gyroscopes on the left and right. The one on the left is for horizontal. The one on the right is for vertical. You can see my yardage down there in the center. I've got it at 45 yards. There's a wind speed on here, and you can put in full weather on this thing too. And also, if you connect through Wi-Fi, you can do like custom reticles on this thing. I haven't really dabbled with that because I find that this reticle is just fine. But you can do that, and you've got your compass on the top, which works great. I'm looking directly east, southeast, right where the indicator is. You've got your battery and all your other icons up top. And let me see if I can do this without it focusing crazy. But we'll go into the menu here. So you've got all of your menu icons on the bottom, and you just scroll through them to the left and right. And it's going to autofocus to my hand if I try it, but you can sort of see how that looks. And it's a pretty nice GUI on this thing. It's a good user interface, and it's very easy to use. So that's one of the key points about this scope is the user friendliness of the interface. Overall, pretty nice scope. We're going to go ahead and show you the unboxing here to just show you everything you get with it on the first day that I got it. And then we'll do my typical review at 25, 50, 75, and 150 yards. Okay, my gentlemen of distinguished taste, we're going to do the unboxing of this thing right on my dirty shed floor. And you can see I haven't taken those out of the packaging at all yet. Been waiting to do this for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and slap my camera up here and we'll get started. All right, so we've got the scope. Let's obviously look at that first because this review is really about the scope. We'll check out the IR flashlight in a bit. But okay, so usually I read some of the stuff off the packaging here. So Ultra 4K sensor, record video in real 4K, dual stream video, smooth zoom, e-compass. It's got Wi-Fi, day-night mode, obviously. Comfortable eye relief, custom reticles, ballistic calculator, one-shot zeroing, recoil activated video in slow motion. That's what RAV is. Profile manager, ultra low power consumption. And these do really get a lot of use out of that battery. So it looks like it has a USB-C port. Looks like it comes with rings, which is nice. We already said comfortable eye relief, easy to use menu, superb optics, and we've got a couple other details here, but I'll only highlight one of them, which is that it's a 14-hour battery, which is pretty cool. So you can check out the rest of the specs, but let's see what's in the box here. Okay. Very nice. We've got some info about firmware updates and stuff here, just plastered right to the box. So I guess they really want you to see that. No problem. We got a scope cover. That's nice that they include that. Manual, of course. Always read your manual, guys. And then the scope itself. Let's look at that first. Man, that's nice. The rangefinder is way smaller than it has been in the past. And craftsmanship on this thing looks pretty cool. So there's that. Let's see what else it comes with. All right, looks like we have a battery charger. That must be for the IR light. Let's see what all this stuff is. Okay. All right, looks like in there we've just got the eye cup and maybe a sunshade. Yep. Okay. We've got a lens cover for the front, chamois cloth. Okay, that's all very nice. I probably won't use these right off the bat, so we'll tuck those back in there. What is in here? Oh, cool. So you get, I don't know if you guys can see through the packaging. Okay. So you get a scope ring with Picatinny on the either sides of it, which looks kind of goofy, but okay. I guess that's for mounting the IR off to the side of it. We've got a one cantilever mount there. And then I assume what is a normal mount in here. So, okay, so that gives you plenty of options for getting it mounted up. Very nice. And then, okay, looks like an 18650 battery. We've got a USB-C cable, and this must be the IR. Wow, that actually looks pretty nice. Oh, somehow my camera got jacked to the side. Sorry about that, guys. Comes with quite a few things. Now let's take a look at this too, because this is the upgraded IR. And it's supposed to be quite a bit more potent than that one there, which is cool. I'm glad that I got this because the other one can maybe go on my tactical helmet with my nods. So that's cool. All right, let's see what's in here. Manual. I always say read the manual. Let's see what little accessories are in here. Probably the mount. Yep. Okay, so we got a mount for it. Oh, wow. It's even got adjustable elevation, it looks like, or you know, to point that properly down your bore at your target. Okay, another very cool camo 18650 battery. Nice. We've got another charger and the light itself. Man, that thing looks cool. And guys, don't ever look into these when you're on, or you will definitely blind yourself. And here goes my camera still twisting. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, there's your unboxing. Hopefully that was bearable. Now we'll get into actually shooting the thing. All right, now that you saw the unboxing, we'll go into some daytime footage. I did have this out a month or two ago, and I will say that it was before the new firmware update. So one good thing about getting a scope from ATN is they're a big company. They're always investing into R&D, and they're always updating the firmware to do things like eliminate any bugs or just generally optimize and improve the software in the scope. So the new software, which I did not have in the daytime footage, has improved the general stability. And you might see in my footage at one point, I think I was fiddling around with too many buttons at once and I froze it up. So I think general stability should help fix that. And then they did two other things. One is they made the LRF quicker. I noticed before it was kind of a pretty long lag time between lasering your target and then having it do the holdover. It's a good thing that they fixed that though, because, you know, if you're aiming at a deer or a rabbit or whatever it may be, you want a quick ranging with that laser. So that's a good thing. And the best thing of all, which I really had a gripe about on the old software, is the BC, the ballistic coefficient, was only programmable to 2 digits. Especially with air guns and really with any gun, we want at least 3 digits. in the BC. So they fixed that. You can now put in your 3 digits, and I've got this all programmed up internally with this Airmaks Krait. You guys have seen me use this in many of my optics reviews videos. I use this gun because it is extremely accurate. You can pick these up at the sole distributor of these in the US, which is Utah Airguns. And it is cold out, so I'm shooting a little bit low velocity, but we're not going to worry about that. It should still do the job just fine. So with that said, we'll go ahead and do some shooting here.
Okay, we'll start off here at 10 yards, and through my eye, I'm getting a very nice picture through this thing. Now keep in mind, the scope starts at 5x magnification, so that's kind of a lot to be looking at something at 5 yards, but we can see all the, you know, details in the bark and everything like that, so pretty good. And just for grins, we'll zoom in a little bit. Let's just double it to go to 10. I won't do the full range here. So that's actually 10.5 right there. And you do have to focus the front objective based on your distance, like pretty much all of these scopes that I've ever seen. So I'll just take it out of focus like that, and then you can kind of dial it, and it looks really good right about there. So that's 10 yards. I'll back out. We'll go back to 5, okay? And we'll take a look at the 20-yard pile, which is right there. I'm gonna have to focus that again. All right, that looks really good right there. And we'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. That's at 5. You can see my pumpkins for baiting the mice out of there, which are a real blast to shoot with these night vision scopes. And I'll go ahead and might as well laser it. All right, 20 yards right there. 19 yards, 20. And that'll reset my crosshairs, but let me see if I can get that in better focus. I'm at 13.5 zoom. All right, that looks pretty good. We'll pick, I guess we'll pick a spot here. Trying to look for something that looks good to focus on. Okay, how about that bark right there? So even though you'd probably never use 25 zoom on a target at 20 yards, I'm going to zoom into 25 here, and then I'm just adjusting the focus to see if I can get it any better. So I'll zoom all the way back out, and these scopes say they have a feature called smooth zoom. So let's just see what happens if I hold down the button. That's actually not bad. That's better than some of the other digital scopes I've used. So that's 20 yards. Here is 25. It looks like I'm still in pretty good focus, but I'm going to twist the knob just a little bit, and actually I think I cleared it up a bit. And I'll go ahead and laser that too. I don't know if the laser will come in on the recording, but I'm lasering it at 25 yards and adjust my crosshair. And let's zoom in a bit. So I'm at 5 all the way out. We'll focus, I guess let's focus on this pumpkin right here. All right, that's 7.5, 8.5, let's go to 10. Okay, so that's 10. Let's go to 15. Okay, that's 15.5 right there. And I'm going to give my objective lens a little bit of a tweak, see if I can bring it into any better focus. Okay, that's worse. You sort of just have to go back and forth and find the appropriate level there. So that one looks pretty good. And let's just, for grins, we'll go all the way in to 25. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm recording the sound, I have no microphone on or anything. This is just recording the sound through the scope because I want you to see the quality of not only the visual aspects but the audio too. So that's at 25. We'll zoom all the way out. I'll just hold it and do the smooth zoom thing that they advertise. So just holding the button down allows you to continue zooming out all the way until it stops at 5. And let's go ahead and take a look in the laneway here. I'm going to jump in my heated shooting shack in a second and we'll look at the laneway, but just for grins, I'm sitting at the deck. That steel plate is 155 yards because I'm 5 yards back from my normal spot in there. And let's see if I can land a hit on it. Not a lot of wind today. Nailed it. So the ballistics are pretty good on this. I'll get more into that in a minute, but definitely good enough to program my BC in there and hit a 4-inch plate at 150 yards. And I'll zoom all the way out so you can see how far that is. I'm on 13 zoom. I didn't want to zoom in any further because if your drop exceeds where the reticle can be in the viewfinder, it'll tell you like you can't do that basically. So let's see if I can get it to do that. Okay, right there, I don't know if it's recording, but it says on the screen target is unreachable. You gotta hit OK, it zooms you back out. So now I'm all the way back to 5, and let's do the smooth zoom thing. So you can see the target, I'll get my crosshairs off of it. It's right there, now my crosshairs are on it. We'll zoom into that bad boy. And that is pretty smooth zoom to get it all the way up. Okay, so then I just get the target is unreachable again. So it looks like I can't go more than 18 because of the drop on this air gun. So let me try that again. I'll go in as much as I can. We'll go to 15, that seems safe. And you can see that's a very small plate, and I just hit it with the ballistics on this thing from 155 yards with an air gun, which is pretty good. So next we'll jump into the heated shooting shack and take a look at 50 and 75 yards. It's time to take a look at some further targets here. So that target stand right there is out at 50 yards. You guys are used to seeing that. That's my typical steel backstopped target that I use for literally everything. So let's do a smooth zoom here. We'll go from 5, which it's currently at. I'll stop at 5s. So let's stop at 10, 15, 20, and 25. Oh, so a little past 10. So that's 10.5. Really good image quality. And then, like any scope, digital scope, the more you zoom in, the more you're going to pixelate the image. So that's at 15x, which for hunting at 50 yards would be definitely more than enough. We'll go to 20. Alright, that's 20. And we'll go full bore all the way to 25x. And this is where we start to see a little bit of pixelation here. And I should have this gun zeroed at 50. There's a hit right there that I'm looking at. Let's see if we can maybe land another one right on top of it. Yep, okay, so gun's good. And I'll back out and we'll take a look at 75 yards. The 75 yard target has 3 hits on it from a previous video, so let's see if we can see those in the daytime with the ATN scope. So that diamond right there is 75 yards. So we'll back all the way out, that's 5. And I'll probably have to refocus it a little bit, but we'll zoom all the way in. Let's stop at 15 right there. See if I can mess with the focus. And that was pretty good. So we'll zoom in the rest of the way. Alright, so that's full 25. And I don't need that much zoom at 75 yards, so let's back out and we'll take a hit on that thing. You can see the 3 hits in the center from a previous review that I did, but we'll back out a bit. I'm holding the back out button, but it doesn't want to do the smooth zoom anymore. Okay, so that's one thing that we're experiencing right now. It seems like the buttons are getting stuck. Interesting. Now I can't press my ranging button. It might be because the recording's on and it's causing too many things going on at once to lag it up. Let me try to shut the recording off.
A few moments later.
Okay, I had to shut the recording off there. I think this scope sometimes will lag if there's too many things going on, so I was trying to zoom and range and have the, you know, video recording at the same time, and I think that screwed it up a bit. So I've just ranged that at 75 yards. Let's go ahead and put a hit on it, see if I can hit those other marks there. Yep, pretty close. Alright, last but not least, I've got my 150 yard target out there. I'll move my reticle out of the way so you can see it. I've already ranged it to 150. Let's, for grins, just see if I can hit it on only 5x power. Okay, well that was a bit of a Hail Mary. Let's zoom in some then. We can see what we're doing here. Alright, so that's at 12x, and now I can clearly see the target. Let's see if I can land a hit on it. Nailed it. So 150 yards. Seems like the ballistics work pretty decently on this scope. Let's try to go to the limit. Eventually it's going to tell me that I can't go any further, so I'm going to try to push it. Oh, okay, 17.5, and that will not do it. So it's going to reset me all the way to 5. And now I'm going to have to go to, we'll go to 17. So because of the arc on an airgun shot, it's adjusting the reticle down to calculate for the ballistics. And at a certain point, it doesn't like going too far down in your screen, so it'll just tell you it can't go that far. So let's just land one more on it. Nailed it. So I'll back all the way out, but that's your look at the daytime performance of this thing, and you can see it's got a pretty good picture. I certainly think it's okay in the day.
All right, now that you saw the daytime stuff, we're gonna do a little bit of night shooting. And since you stuck around, I know you guys want to see the night shooting and maybe are not that concerned with the day shooting, but since you did watch that, I'll give you a little bonus because I know you bloodthirsty heathens want to see some kills. So here you go.
How about a little 23-yard shot for the homies? Tango down. Headshot. Perfect. So the rangefinder definitely worked pretty well in that scenario, wouldn't you agree? All right, we got another customer. And that went right where I wanted it to go. Headshot. And for reference, that's right where his buddy fell, where the mysterious red mark is. Oh! Just wanted to get closer to his buddy, I guess. So that's 2 with the Airmaks Krait and the ATN X-Sight. 5. Tango down.
All right, not bad for the daytime. So let's get to shooting it at night.
Check this out. While we were filming, this big owl came out. And I've got the IR pointed right at him. Let's see if he turns his head. There he is. Wow, that is cool, man. He is a big guy. We could just hear him hooting. Anyway, we thought we'd show you some footage of this guy. Looks like he's getting ready to take off, but pretty good footage. Let's see if we can range him. Alright, he is at 36 yards. So that is some pretty cool footage, man. Pretty clean at night, and that's only on setting 1 of the IR torch. So we'll let him be and get back to shooting here. Alright, so we're going to start with our typical 25 yards, and then I'll take you out to 50, 75, and 150. I've got the IR on setting 1, and it's doing pretty good. I was worried a little bit about washout on some of those somewhat reflective targets, but let's go ahead and take you through the zoom range. So right now, I'm at the bottom of the zoom range, which is 5. So there's 6, 7, let's just go up to 10. So that's 10 right there. Looking pretty good at 25 yards. There's really no reason to zoom in more than that, but we're going to take you all the way to 25. And that's pretty good, man. I can even see the individual little very thin lines between those targets. So let's see, just to make sure we're on with our 0, let's just make sure we can hit one in the center-ish of that target right there. Okay, very good. So we are on, and that's what 25 yards looks like. I'm going to back out on my zoom, and then I'll take you to 50, where I've got a popper out there, and we might need to redial the IR. You can see the popper there, and you do have to sort of adjust the objective lens to focus it. So let's see what happens if we go to 2. Okay, that's mega bright, and then I can also adjust kind of the zoom on this thing, and we'll keep it right about there. And again, this is the stock IR beam. I do have the upgraded one, but we're just using the stock for now. So I'm going to zoom in, and you'll see I'll probably have to sharpen it up by refocusing a little bit. Alright, so there's 25 right there, and we will focus that up. Okay, very good image quality. And we're going to go ahead and laser that thing. It did zoom me out a bit. Alright, it's telling me that's 51 yards, so I might be a yard off or so. And it'll automatically adjust that crosshair. So let's go ahead and see if we can put one right dead center in that thing. Okay, nailed it. Just for fun, let's put another one right there on top of that one. Alright, very good. So that's 50 yards. Now, let's take it to 75. First, I'll laser it so that I can then zoom in. Missed it there. Missed it. Alright, 74. So it's going to adjust my crosshair. I'll zoom in and then refocus a little bit to give you a better image quality. And let's bump up the IR just a tad so we can definitely see it pretty well. Alright, so that's looking pretty good on the focus. Let's see if we can land one right in the middle of that thing. Smack dab right in the center. Let's do it again just because it's fun. Smack. Okay, cool. So you've seen 50, 25, and 75 yards. So I'm going to back way out. And what you can see above that fence right there, I'll move my crosshair so you can see it better, is a freshly painted 4-inch gong at 150 yards. That is, needless to say, very far away, especially for an air gun. This gun can always hit it though. So go ahead and range that thing. Okay, it's saying 150 yards. Good, I'll zoom in. Keep in mind it's adjusted your crosshair. Now if I zoom in too far, it'll give me a slap on the wrist and say zoom range exceeded. So I think that was happening in the daytime footage around 17. So let's see how far I can go. Alright, I'll just go to 17 here and I'll try to focus that in a little bit, see if we can get any more focus on it. But man, with the stock IR, that's pretty good because some other scopes I couldn't even really see it. So I'm also going to use the gyroscope that's in the, when you look down the scope you can see the gyroscope, and try to make sure I'm as level as possible. And let's send a couple at that, see if we can hit it. Nailed it. Wow, very good. A little bit low, I can even see the impact on it. Nailed it again. That is pretty impressive for wintertime shooting with an air gun, 150 yards on a 4-inch plate. 3 in a row. So we know that the IR and the laser rangefinder are a pretty good combo here for getting on target and administering precision at pretty far distances. Let me see at 5x, only 5 power, can I hit that thing again? Oh, that's pretty good, man. So if you wanted to have a super wide field of view, that's at minimum zoom. I can see my 25, it's a little washed out because I'm not focused in on it. You can see the 50, you can see the 75, and you can see even that 150 yard target and hit it at only 5 power magnification, which is pretty cool. So the night performance of this thing is pretty good, and I hope that gives you a good idea of what you're going to get when you buy this scope with your $1,200 or so of hard-earned cheddar.
All right, guys, so I think I've shown you quite a bit about this scope. You've seen the unboxing, you've seen shooting it in the daytime at yardages under 25 and then all the way out to 150. You've seen what it can do at night. And man, that's pretty impressive to be able to hit a little 4-inch plate with an air gun at 150 yards. Most people are going to buy this scope because they're hunting hogs with like an AR or maybe a 300 blackout AR or a 223, and it's going to be fine for that. But if you're using an air gun with this scope, have no fear, it's going to be fine, and it's going to calculate that loopy air gun trajectory just fine, at least out to 150 yards. I don't have longer than that to shoot, but you saw that I was even hitting that at 5 power, which is really low power to be shooting 150 yards. So definitely thumbs up there. To be totally honest with you guys, I like I said before, I'll knock them a little bit on the mounts. I feel like they're a little chintzy. And then also I did have the software freeze up one more time, and it seems to only happen when I'm in record mode recording and I'm fiddling with zooming in, zooming out, and pressing too many buttons at once. So maybe that's on me. I really don't think it should freeze up, but if you stick to a moderate zoom level and don't be fiddling around too much while you're recording, you shouldn't have that problem. But other than that, man, I am going to be using this quite a bit for night hunting. It's an awesome scope. Costs about 1,200 beans. I will leave a link in the description and comments below. As you know, my channel is not monetized, so if you want to help the channel, you can purchase stuff through the links below. And I do link a whole bunch of cool stuff in there, so check that out. I'll even leave a link for the gun itself, and you guys can feast on all of the links I leave in there. So thank you guys for staying tuned to the end here. I know it was a bit of a long one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.